There is one rule that is handed down like a sacred text to every woman experiencing the pain of a separation. Your friends tell you to do it. The internet screams it at you. It is presented as the one single path to reclaiming your dignity, and perhaps, if you are honest with yourself, to making him miss you. It is, of course, the no contact rule. And so, you try. In the raw and painful aftermath of the connection ending, you commit to this rule with all the willpower you can muster. You clench your fists and you stare at your phone, waging a minute-by-minute, hour-by-hour war against your own impulse to reach out. Every notification sends a jolt of hope and terror through your nervous system. Your life does not move forward. It becomes a state of suspended animation, a period of white-knuckled, painful and anxious waiting. You are not living. You are simply not contacting. But what if I told you that the way most people practice this rule, this sacred text of heartbreak, is a profound psychological mistake? A mistake that doesn't truly heal you, but instead keeps you chained to a silent, agonizing hope. A mistake that, instead of broadcasting your strength, actually broadcasts your pain in a way that can push him even further away. This video will deconstruct the myth of the no-contact rule as it is commonly known. We will reveal the deep psychological reason why this tactic, which feels so strong on the surface, is often an act of profound powerlessness in disguise. We will explore why it so often fails to bring you the peace you crave or the result you secretly desire. And more importantly, we will provide you with the powerful psychological insight into what you must do instead. This is not about finding a better trick. It is about a fundamental shift in your entire energetic and psychological posture. A shift from a tactic of ignoring him to a profound state of becoming indifferent to his response. A state we call sovereign silence. To understand why the common no-contact rule is a mistake, we must first dissect it with brutal honesty. We must look past the strong, stoic exterior of the action, the act of not calling, not texting, and examine the weak, anxious, and hopeful energy that so often fuels it. The mistake of no contact, as it is popularly taught, is that it is a tactic, not a truth. It is an externally focused strategy, designed to manipulate an external result. The goal is almost never to truly let go. The secret, hidden goal is to make him miss you, to make him wonder, to make him feel your absence so acutely that he is forced to reach out, to close the distance, to give you the validation you are so desperately craving. This is not an act of sovereign power. It is an act of passive warfare. It is a game of chicken where you are waiting with your heart in your throat to see who will swerve first. Your focus is not on your own healing. Your focus is entirely and obsessively on him. Think of it this way. Traditional no contact is the emotional equivalent of holding your breath underwater. It is an act of immense, painful and white-knuckled effort. From the surface, it may look like you are still and calm, but internally you are in a state of profound agony. Your lungs are burning, your every cell is screaming for air, and your entire single-minded focus is on one thing and one thing only. The moment you can finally break the surface and take that desperate, gasping breath, the air you are waiting for is his response. Your life during this period is not being lived, it is being endured. You may not be texting him, but you are in a state of constant, frantic, energetic contact. You are checking your phone every 5 minutes to see if he has reached out. You are analyzing his social media activity, looking for clues. You are replaying every past conversation in your mind. You are talking about him endlessly with your friends. Your thumbs may be still, but your soul is in a state of perpetual, exhausting motion. This is not an act of letting go. It is the most intense and painful form of holding on, just disguised in the noble costume of self-control. And a man on a subconscious level can feel the energy of this. He does not feel your calm, peaceful absence. He feels the loud, screaming, energetic void of your pained and angry waiting. It does not feel like a space he wants to return to. It feels like a vacuum of need, a silent ultimatum. Your silence is not a mystery, it is a demand. And it is this very energy, the needy, hopeful, and often punitive energy behind the common no-contact rule, that makes it a profound psychological mistake. It does not free you. It keeps you in a silent, self-imposed prison. The reason this common form of no contact is such a profound mistake is because of the psychological archetype from which it is born. This is not an action taken by the sovereign, powerful queen of your inner kingdom. This is a desperate tactic, employed by the most wounded and terrified part of your psyche. It is a strategy of the wounded orphan archetype. As we have discussed, the orphan is the part of us that carries the primal wound of abandonment. Its entire worldview is defined by a deep and persistent fear of being left alone. Its primary motivation in any relationship is not to create a partnership of equals, but to secure a permanent attachment to a parent figure who will finally make it feel safe and seen. When the man pulls away or the relationship ends, the orphan archetype is thrown into a state of absolute terror. It has been abandoned, and its entire being becomes focused on one single goal: to get the parent to come back. Traditional no contact is the orphan's last-ditch, passive-aggressive plea. Think of a small child who has had a fight with her parent and has been sent to her room. She is silent. But what is the quality of her silence? It is not a peaceful, self-contained silence. It is a loud, angry, and hopeful silence. It is a punitive silence. She is silent to punish the parent, to make them feel her absence. And at the same time, she is sitting by the door, her ear pressed against the wood, desperately listening for the sound of their footsteps, praying they will come back, apologize, and end her painful isolation. This is the psychological posture of a woman practicing no contact. She is the child in her room. She is silent, yes, but her silence is a performance. It is a punishment, and it is a plea. It is a tactic designed to manipulate the parent, the man, into returning to the room and re-establishing the connection. She is not healing. She is waiting. She is not reclaiming her power. She is in a silent, energetic standoff, hoping her opponent will surrender first. This is why this practice feels so terrible. It is a state of profound powerlessness, disguised as strength. It is an energy of lack, of pain, and of anger, all being broadcast from the silent prison of her waiting. A man feels this. He may not know the language of archetypes, but he feels the energy. He does not feel the calm, inviting warmth of a woman who is at peace. He feels the cold, demanding, and slightly hostile energy of a child who is punishing him with her silence. And this punitive energy does not inspire his soul to return. It triggers his own defenses. It does not make him miss her. It makes him wary of the game she is so clearly playing. To break this cycle, you must learn to stop acting from the wound of the orphan, and to begin instead to act from the wholeness of the queen. If the mistake of no contact is that it is a punitive, anxious, and externally focused waiting game, then what is the alternative? What is the sovereign practice that does not just pretend to let go, but actually, truly, and profoundly liberates you? The answer lies in a radical shift of focus. The alternative is sovereign silence. This is not just a semantic difference. It is a revolution in your energetic posture. The goal of traditional no contact is to ignore him, to make him miss you. The goal is still about him. The goal of sovereign silence is to become so profoundly and joyfully engaged with your own life that you genuinely forget to think about him. The goal is about you. This is the difference between holding your breath underwater and leaving the ocean entirely. The woman practicing no contact is holding her breath, suffering, and her entire focus is on the water that surrounds her. The woman practicing sovereign silence has walked out of the ocean of his memory, has dried herself in the sun of her own self-love, and has returned to her own magnificent and thriving sacred garden. This is the most powerful reframe you can make. The period after a connection has ended is not a waiting period. It is a gardening season. It is a sacred and fertile time that has been gifted to you, a time to turn your attention away from a field that has proven barren, and to focus all of your life-giving energy on the cultivation of your own inner world. Sovereign silence is not an act of willpower, of gritting your teeth and forcing yourself not to think of him. That is still a form of resistance, and what you resist persists. Sovereign silence is an act of redirection. It is the gentle but firm and consistent choice to take the powerful beam of your attention and to shine it upon your own growth, your own healing, and your own joy. It is the understanding that you are the queen of your own kingdom, and for a long time, you may have been standing on the castle walls staring out at a neighboring land. Sovereign silence is the act of turning away from the walls, walking back into the heart of your own kingdom, and asking, what in this beautiful realm of mine requires my attention? What new flower can I plant? What new path can I build? This is not a performance. You are not acting busy to make him jealous. You are genuinely and joyfully becoming busy with the sacred project of your own life. And the silence that emanates from this state is completely different from the silence of the orphan. It is not cold and punitive. It is warm, full, and self-contained. It is not an energy of lack. It is an energy of profound fullness. And it is this very energy that, without any effort on your part, will begin to work its undeniable magic. So why is this shift from no contact to sovereign silence not just a semantic game, but a profound psychological reversal? The answer lies in the energetic signal that each type of silence broadcasts. The two silences may look the same on the outside. In both you are not texting him. But on an energetic level, they are speaking two completely different languages. The silence of traditional no contact is a loud silence. It is a broadcast of pain, of anger, of a desperate, hopeful waiting. It is a punitive energy. It is the energetic equivalent of slamming a door in his face. It is a clear act of conflict, a declaration of war. And while he may feel the sting of the slammed door, his ego is also engaged. He feels the push, and so he pushes back, even if only by hardening his own resolve. The game is still on. Sovereign silence is different. It is a quiet silence. It is not an act of slamming his door. It is the act of calmly and quietly closing your own. You have not rejected him. You have simply and profoundly returned to your own room, to your own kingdom, and you have closed the door not to punish him, but to enjoy the beautiful peace of your own sacred space. This broadcasts a completely different energetic signal. It is not a signal of lack, but of profound wholeness. It is not a signal of anger, but of profound peace. It is not a signal of waiting, but of purposeful engagement with your own life. And this is what creates the psychological vacuum. He was accustomed to your energy, your focus, your pursuit. Even in your angry silence, your energy was still directed at him. But now, it is gone. And he feels not the sting of your rejection, but the deafening and confusing void left by the absence of your neediness. His ego has nothing to fight against. There is no slammed door, no angry text, no passive-aggressive social media post. There is just a beautiful, peaceful, and self-contained silence. He is not being punished, he is being rendered irrelevant. And for the ego, irrelevance is a far more terrifying fate than rejection. This is what captivates his soul. His mind, which was once secure in the knowledge of your focus, is now filled with a new and compelling set of questions. The questions are no longer, why is she so angry? The questions are now, what happened to her? Why is she so peaceful? Has she moved on? She seems happy. Without me. You are no longer a problem he is trying to solve. You have become a mystery he is desperate to understand. You are no longer the child in the other room, silently waiting for him to return. You are the queen in her own castle, so engrossed in the affairs of her own magnificent kingdom that she has forgotten he even exists. And this is the most powerfully magnetic, and paradoxically, the most attractive posture a woman can ever embody. You have not won the old game. You have simply begun playing a new and far more beautiful one, a game in which you are the only prize. To know that sovereign silence is the path is the map. To have the practical tools to walk that path, especially when the old, painful habit of no contact is so strong, is the vehicle. Cultivating sovereign silence is not a passive waiting game. It is an active and deeply rewarding practice. It is built upon three foundational pillars, three disciplines that will help you reclaim your energy and return to your own center. Pillar 1. The practice of radical self-attendance. This is your emergency response. This is the practice you will use in the acute moments of pain, when the urge to text him is overwhelming, when the grief feels like a physical ache, when the anxiety is a storm in your chest. In these moments, you must learn to turn inward, not outward. As we have discussed, this is the practice of becoming the loving parent to your own wounded inner child. You will pause. You will place a hand on your heart. And you will ask that hurting part of you the question it so desperately needs to hear. What do you need from me right now to feel safe? Listen to the answer. It will not be, I need him. It will be something much simpler. I need a hug, so you wrap yourself in a warm blanket. I need to move this energy, so you put on your shoes and go for a walk. I need to feel beautiful, so you take a luxurious bath. The act of attending to your own needs in a moment of pain is the ultimate act of breaking your addiction to external validation. You are becoming your own savior. Pillar number 2, the practice of reinvesting your energy. This is your long-term strategy. This is the work of rebuilding and beautifying your own sacred garden. For a long time, a vast amount of your creative, emotional, and mental energy was directed at him. That energy is now, for the first time in a long time, fully available to you. You must give it a new and beautiful place to go. Take out a journal. Make a list of the parts of your own garden you have been neglecting. It could be a creative project you put on the back burner, a friendship you haven't had time to nurture, a health goal you have been procrastinating on, a new skill you have always wanted to learn. Now you must choose one, just one. And you must, today, take one small, concrete step to reinvest your energy there. Sign up for the class, call the friend, buy the book. This is a profound act of redirection. You are taking the energy that was once used to obsess over his barren land, and you're using it to plant a magnificent new flower in your own. Pillar number 3, the practice of the vow of peace. This is your new constitution, the one law that will govern your new sovereign kingdom. You must consciously and deliberately commit to our 7-word phrase, my peace is not up for negotiation. Write this phrase down. Put it on your mirror. Make it the wallpaper on your phone. It must become the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. This is your North Star. Before you make any decision, whether to check his social media, whether to reply to his text, whether to engage in a conversation about him with a friend, you will look at this vow, and you will ask, does this action serve my peace? If the answer is no, you will not do it. This simple, powerful vow will become the ultimate gatekeeper for your energy, your time, and your heart. It is the practice that ensures you will never again abandon your own kingdom for the sake of a temporary and unsatisfying visit to another's. We began this journey by questioning one of the most famous rules in the world of heartbreak. We have seen that the mistake of traditional no contact is its hidden, desperate focus on him. It is a state of holding your breath, a silent, painful war waged in the hope of a specific outcome. The psychological insight, the great reframe, is to shift our focus entirely. The power is not in no contact, but in sovereign silence. A silence that is not a tactic, but a truth. A silence that is not about him, but about you. And this leads us to the final, most liberating truth of all. The true goal of this silence is not to get him back. The true goal is to get yourself back. His potential return is no longer the prize. It is and has always been simply a possible byproduct of you finally and completely coming home to your own sovereign worth. The real victory is not the sound of his message on your phone. It is the quiet, beautiful, and unshakable peace in your own soul. It is the joy you find in tending to your own sacred garden. It is the profound realization that you are, and have always been, a whole and magnificent kingdom, with or without a visiting king. When you reach this place, you have not just won a game. You have transcended it entirely. You have taken a period of painful separation, and you have alchemized it into a season of profound self-reclamation. And a woman who has found herself in this way becomes the most magnetic force in the universe. Not because she is playing a game, but because she is no longer playing one at all.